All right, welcome to this daily Sidereal Astrology forecast for January 14th of 2016. My name is Athen, and this is for Sidereal Astrology, very different from mainstream astrology, which you can find more about down below. All right, so today we're in the crescent phase still of the lunar cycle of Sagittarius, so we could still be focused on those possibilities that are expanding as we go into February, especially with Jupiter and the North Node in conjunction. So the key with this right now is that it's all very flexible, it's all very malleable. Mercury's retrograde, Jupiter's retrograde. So it's good to treat everything like an experiment right now and learn through experimentation, and especially through learning and reading and these kinds of things. So malleability is really big, especially because the moon is going to be in Pisces here today. So it could be a receptive day, could be feeling that way, maybe thinking about relaxing, and it could be good to get that alone time, maybe get that rest that is often needed with the moon in Pisces. But because we are still in this early phase of the lunar cycle, we are nurturing and putting into action a lot of these new insights and a lot of these new outlooks and possibilities. So perhaps it's more on the intuitive side, listening to that intuition, being receptive, and having that faith and trust that is Pisces. Now, Jupiter does rule both Sagittarius and Pisces, so a strong emphasis on Jupiter today, especially because he will be forming a few aspects. And so with Jupiter, he's already been in Leo. So it's great to really reflect on what we're passionate about. What are those interests? What are those hobbies maybe even that we can rework, redo, those things that are important to us in life, right? Whether it's productive or otherwise. And through that, we're learning quite a bit, and that's going to be the new beginning here of the year into February with the North Node shifting into Leo, this new life path unfolding for us to express ourselves, to follow those interests and creative and playful energies of life. So that's still shifting again, still very malleable. And within that, we do have quite a few aspects, as you can see here in the transit graph. I'm not going to go through all of these individually, but I'm going to show you the most important ones here. The ones coming from yesterday, you're probably still quite familiar with. The sun trining up to Jupiter, still that optimism perhaps, maybe that inspiration in the air here today. Could be still a lot to learn about the life path. Mercury and the sun are trining up to that North Node. So again, being open to learning, especially in regards to how things are unfolding. And again, what we're interested in can really provide some good practical information and a good focus here today with both of those aspects. There could be some healing still with the relationships and maybe with our values, with Venus squaring up to Chiron as there was yesterday in some regards. But the highlight of the day is certainly going to be Mercury going retrograde over the sun. So with this one, we could be quite expressive and quite communicative, usually with this kind of conjunction. And so it's very powerful. In fact, it's very powerful for taking those creative ideas and those big picture possibilities and turn them into something practical and tangible, which is Mercury. So it's taking the creativity of the sun and meshing it with the practicality of Mercury and seeing how they can be synergized. Now, it is important too because Mercury is retrograde. Sometimes we can be on autopilot. So it is important to bring that extra attention to the communications, to what we're thinking about. But in that way, like I said, it can be very passionate and quite practical and productive. Now, another thing too is, especially with those communications, really seeking to understand and hear others' points of views are always important because, again, we're very passionate in whatever it is we're expressing and we're talking about, but it does need that balance and that counter approach there. So that's going to be the highlight, as well as Mercury trining up to Jupiter. So we could be seeing that bigger picture, maybe especially today going into tomorrow. A lot to learn about that. Both of these planets are retrograde, so again, it is good to be open to learning about that, to be rehashing and experimenting, and really focusing on one thing at a time. I notice because a lot of times with Jupiter and Mercury, we can become very interested in a lot of things. We can sort of scatter our energy. So it is good to funnel that and focus on it as best as we can with this, and then it does make it quite supportive. But in either way, it does usually feel quite good and does support a lot of the communications and correspondence and maybe even routine, but with that extra attention. So that's going to be the high point. I would also mention the fact that the moon is conjoining over the south node here today. So when it comes to The Pisces energies of relaxation and spirituality, maybe there are some energies we are releasing. And I feel like a good day of surrendering any past energies can really free us up and help us have more of that non-attached perspective to life, loosen up the reins, and have more of that easygoingness, faith, and trust that is the result of that. So I feel like that'll be important. And again, all in this crescent phase, it's all about these new practical implications and applications of what we're seeing as possible in the horizon. All right, so I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.